for this one, these for the matches for these ones, just all kind of like stay our opinion while we're going through it. That way we can keep talking about like our actual Mania memories as far as like
that's gonna be better.
In there, covered the first few matches, and Jericho defeating AJ Styles, which I remember a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, AJ, he lost at Mania. He's just going to be mid-card." Then the next night, he becomes #1 contender.
Yeah, and go on to main event with Roman Reigns and do a lot of awesome stuff.
Yeah.
It's before that.
By the end of the year, he's the champion.
Yeah. Before that, if you guys remember, also in the ladder match, you guys remember that pop for Kevin Owens?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The way it almost broke. It's the first humongous pop of the night is when Kevin Owens' music plays. It's like those chords so good, and you hear everyone. Yeah. Even people who do not want him to win, but it's like, wow, Kevin Owens is at the WrestleMania. It's like mind-blowing thing.
It showed what a star he had been the past year, and what was to come from the end of 2016. Like the dude definitely has that star quality to him.
Yeah.
We had League of Nations defeating the New Day in a 6-man tag, which was then followed up with Austin, HBK, and Mick Foley coming out, which was
amazing.
It was completely random. It didn't really make sense, but
it's a Mania moment. It's
a Mania moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Like they had at that point they moved on to we don't have to. The Mania moments don't have to make a lot of sense. We're just
yeah.
Brock Lesnar defeated Dean Ambrose. I like the build to this one. Match. Excuse me. The match itself was.
It's a standard match. And, if you ask Dean Ambrose, it was Brock Lesnar's fault. If you ask Paul Heyman, it was Dean Ambrose's fault. You don't know. I remember best thing about this, at the WrestleManias before, like every time, like you would. Lesnar would do the German and we'd start counting. And I remember 31, Heyman would turn around to the crowd and just do the, the numbers. But I remember when Lesnar at this WrestleMania had that 10th German suplex. I don't know how much in the stadium it went, but in the, at least at the part in the ringside, everyone went 10. Because,
it was hot for that. This match a lot of people thought was going to be the main event because if you remember outside
they had them
on the banner. They actually had the 3 women in the center. They had Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, and there's a good chance this actually might be the main event. These 3 here you really can't go wrong with. It was for the inaugural Women's Championship. They retired the Divas title earlier in the night. Great match.
Great match.
I don't know if it would. I'm trying to think what I actually would say would be match of the night, but this might have been match of the night, honestly.
Yeah, as far as technicality,
it was very good.
It was match of the night. I would give the Undertaker and Shane for the atmosphere itself, but as far as a bell-to-bell action, this was match of the night, definitely.
Undertaker and Shane, I loved that match, honestly, because it was face versus face, but it felt like a Mania match. Like, it was refreshing for Taker. Shane, we hadn't seen in years. Shane guy, of course, even though he was working face, he still got some, heelish McMahon moments thrown into it. I thought it was a awesome match. Of course, some Shane McMahon moments.
It was an awesome
in the match because it's Shane and Hell in a Cell.
And by the way,
we had the 20-man.
It's Undertaker's favorite crowd, if you remember from the Stone Cold session. So.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
We're part of that, guys. Oh
yeah, we made it.
yeah, and it was a great entrance too for the Undertaker with the explosions and everything, and this being the biggest. Attendance ever, and I remember I'm losing my shit because this is the first time I ever saw I'm ever attending a Hell in a Cell match too. It's like,
oh yeah,
oh my god,
yeah,
it's. I remember it's But I think for this WrestleMania, maybe this match should have gone on last because this would have kept the crowd hot, unlike the championship match. Because
I've got a
go.
Just got a very quick question for you, Mo. On the Raw before this WrestleMania, when Shane McMahon dropped the elbow on Taker on the announce table and gave him that black eye, was you annoyed when you met him and you had the photo with him and Taker had a black eye?
I wouldn't say I was annoyed. It's a battle scar.
No, I was like, I wish he didn't have it, but I was
I would say, it would have been better if he hadn't had it, but it is what it is. I wasn't gonna lie. It's still the under.
So I blame Shane McMahon for that. I'm like, you ruined my photo, you bastard.
Apparently.
Sorry, anyway.
And Taker's mom did not cut Shane in the slack if you
not too happy about giving a baby boy a black eye.
Baron Corbin won the Andre Battle Royal, which actually surprised me because he came out, with the generic
exactly. He was
music and just walked through.
They hit him in plain sight with everyone else. Shaq being in the Battle Royal was
glad because it surprised me.
Shaq was in the Battle Royal. That was weird. That's I remember the best thing about this one was when it came down to Corbin, Kane, Sandow was in there. No, but the Outcasts were all in there, all four of them.
Oh yeah.
And they were going, and then both said, "Let's do a boat train," and they ran, and they just, they ran, and Kane was standing there, and then both said, "The other way," and then they ran the other way. Corbin was standing there.
I think Sandow was my favorite part of it because he got a great pop when he showed up and was like, you know what, I'm gonna get in the middle of these two giants and do my thing, and then he tried quickly out.
The inevitable.
But it showed that the fans were still really behind him. Rock came out to talk about the attendance record, interrupted by the Wyatts. Rock then, beat Eric Rowan in 6 seconds. It's a great moment. Yeah, it's not a burial. It's nothing else. It's just
it's a mania moment. It's a mania thing.
It's given the fans Rock moment and the last Rock match.
So Eric Rowan can say like he was in the Rock's last match.
And possibly the Rock's shortest match.
7 seconds, wasn't it?
Rowan has a few records with the Rock now.
And
then
but you could say that this was also great. Like if you guys remember, do you guys remember the overall that Bray was wearing with the faces in it? It's sort of like a leather face type of thing, where faces on it. That was a great move. And then John Cena came out.
Because it was a question. It was a question whether Cena and Bray Wyatt was going to be there, wasn't it, due to injury?
He didn't.
So it was nice to get them on. No, but there was there, so
it's
it was
nice.
To see
they, you could say that the Wyatt family was not used to their best in that moment, but it's still I'd rather, if this is the biggest attendance record of WrestleMania, if this is the biggest WrestleMania ever, I'd rather have the Wyatt family on them doing this than not have them on it at all.
Same here.
Agreed.
The main event was, I love Triple H, but it's like, having him and Roman in the main event wasn't a decision.
Especially,
I remember a lot of people were thinking Samoa Joe was going to debut that night or at Raw. There was a lot of buzz with Joe being the guy coming in, which honestly would have made sense to have Samoa Joe be Triple H's heavy, especially going against Roman.
Which they did the year after.
Any other thoughts you guys had from 2016?
That main event was awful. Sorry.
I honestly do not.
This was what we was burnt out at that point. And this was our first Mania where it was like, holy shit, how long is this going on for? You kept looking at your watch thinking, I've been here how many hours already? I need some sleep.
I think after the Cell match, everything was like, And by the time,
can we just go home now, please?
By the time the main event rolled around, I was like, And it's nothing against Roman or Triple H. I was not invested in this match at all.
Yeah,
you know, he knew Roman was going to win. It's like, yeah, okay, it's typical. So I'm like, during the whole thing, I'm sinking in my seat and just waiting for it to end.
Yeah, the entrance was cool. If that's the only thing I can take away from it.
The entrance was cool.
The Triple H entrance with the
till this moment, I do not know what Stephanie McMahon said. Where I could not hear her properly.
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I could not hear her properly in the stadium, and
Same here.
every time I watch it back, I just space out when this match comes on, even if after it's fine. What are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, main event was
Yeah, like I said, Shane versus Undertaker was like the high point of how the crowd was going and everything. And everything, and the women's match was amazing. So like you had those two matches like right after each other, and everything is gonna go down from here. John Cena coming out was a good surprise. It got the people, but you were like,
there was no in between the women's and the Taker match. Like normally there's something in between to sort of like bring us back down, but it was just like women's match. Wow, that was fantastic. Then you're going to give us a Hell in a Cell match. So we was burnt out. Two, top matches.
And looking at this, Triple H and Roman went 27 minutes. It's like that's too much.
Way too long.
Way too long for the spot they were in, for everything. They should have gone at least, at most 20 minutes. I would say even 16 would have been
Chris Jericho, AJ Styles was a good match as well.
It was a very good
I enjoyed that one.
It was a very good
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, the ladder match was awesome. Honestly, this Mania, it gets a lot of hate for dragging, but it had a lot of great things.
It did.
Yeah, it was the first one where it went this long, though, wasn't it? This was the first of the.
It was the first one where
oncoming really long manias.
Where they said, you know what, screw it, it's our own network. We can do whatever we want. We're gonna. We're just gonna, go until the lights.
It's overkill.
So WrestleMania itself was like 5 hours, and the pre-show was 2 hours. Poor Byron Saxton had to sit through all of them.
Poor Byron.
Yeah.
But watching from home, that would be fine to watch at home. But people who haven't been don't understand the struggle. As much as it's an experience, it's a struggle. Like in that entire week, sleep it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
The sleep is absolute minimal.
After WrestleMania week, you sleep anywhere.
Yeah,
I would say
you could sleep for 24 hours when you get home.
Like if you remember, the next day after Monday Night Raw, went to Houston by the Greyhound, and I was traveling back to New York that same night after SmackDown at 3 a.m. To get the red eye, and you get to sleep wherever you can. You sleep on the bus, which I couldn't do because I wasn't comfortable. You sleep, but the guy next to me slept like a baby, But you sleep in the bus, you sleep in the afternoon, you go to the show. You're afraid to miss shows, so you're not sleeping that well, anyways. Then you come back, you have to bubble wrap your chair if you have one. You're doing stuff, and I remember that night in Houston, I called a cab to take me to the airport, and I'm waiting in the lobby, sitting there, and I was just. I'm like, I'm out, and then I get into the cab, and for me, in regular styles, if I'm riding in a car with a stranger, as a cab or traveling, I have the bags with me. I would not fall asleep. I'd keep myself alert, but I could not. I was sitting in the chair, and I'm like, until we reach to the airport. Then I get on the plane. I put the headphones in my head and I play. Do you guys remember when they had the WrestleMania highlights package? They had that song "Victorious" by Panic at the Disco. So I downloaded that song, and I'm on the airplane. I play that song, put the earphones on, and unbeknownst to me, my music player is on repeat for the one track. And I drift in and out of consciousness, and this song is in my ears for like a good 30 or 40 minutes. like I'm sleeping and then I'm up. The night we are Victoria. Okay. It's like, right? You guys have that same thing where you like, the week after Mania, you're just flat out. Your body is just, screaming for sleep.
I'm done.
Like, I'm gonna rest.
Yeah.
Like the second you get through that front door, you say hello to it. Say hello. I'm just dropping. I'm going to bed. Like immediate, straight to bed.
I don't do it quite like that. I'm usually up. As soon as I get home, I'm up, but I usually take the next day off so I can sleep longer. But still, usually I'm probably only sleep about like 8 hours. But those are like the best feeling, like 8 hours when you're sleeping on your own bed, returning from Mania.
Yeah. No better feeling than your own bed.
Yeah, it's like it makes you really appreciate, sleep.
Yeah.
It's, because even after the night after WrestleMania being 7 hours and you being burnt out, you go home, you don't sleep. You're still a little. There's a part of you that's still amped up. I was just at Mania.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I also have a good thing. I got WrestleMania 32 was when I actually got the Egyptian flag on TV during the show, and there was an Egyptian website called The Seventh Day that actually had a screenshot of me doing it and said the Egyptians make it to WrestleMania. Didn't make a big thing. I was worried I'd become a meme in Egypt and people would take me to task, but there was just a couple of memes that were complimentary, so I was like, dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
And I remember, Houston, New York, get to the hotel room, just lay on the bed. I have people calling me from, trying to make sure that, I got to New York okay and everything. And it's like 6 or 7 hours went by with me not contacting anyone.
Yeah.
I'm done. Leave me alone. I even spent 2 days in New York. I didn't get out of Times Square. I couldn't, I had no energy to do long trip
anywhere.
I'm just, I'm gonna stay in this neighborhood.
Thank you for joining us on the Outlaw Macho Drive-In. If you liked that video, please click like and subscribe to our channel for more content from the drive-in. For full episodes of our podcast, you may look us up on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are available. Just search for Outlaw Macho Drive-In. And if it's not too much trouble, would you help us out here? Spread the word, share. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. We love you. Bye.